You want everybody to like you. You don't want anybody to judge you. So you twist and turn and contort and morph into many different people for many different things. But you're not doing yourself any service, and they're falling in love with an idea who you are. Welcome to episode 101 of the Positivity Experience. Remain authentic, and let's not worry about how everybody else perceives you.
Check it out.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to episode 101 of the Positivity Experience. It's your girl, Lori. Do you see how I said 101? I actually think it's 99. I think this is 102. So let's say 102, and I'll tell you why it was so funny. Somebody had said, oh, wait, you had 99 on there twice. I was like, did I? And so I went back and I was like, ooh, there's two there that's 99. So I guess this is episode 102. So welcome to episode 102, everybody. Hey, you know what? Your girl ain't perfect, and that's okay, because perfection is not real. How are you guys? Oh my God, I'm so grateful to be here with you and so blessed to have you in my life and happy to be here with you. Wanted to start by saying here we are. We're really close to the holiday. So yeah, I'm really excited to just keep bringing you lots of stuff. And I already sent that form out to people to kind of help, like, hey, what are some topics you want to see in 2023? Getting ready to start the year. And don't worry, in the one of the upcoming week podcasts, I'm going to talk to you about different strategies about your year, how to start planning it out, where to micro goal. That is on the to-do list. And I want to thank all of our newest Patreon members over at the Patreon today. We're talking about fear. What is fear? How do you overcome it, or how do you work through it? So fear is a big thing. If fear is something that you're dealing with, hop on over to the Patreon. If you're already a Patreon, you already have it. If you're not, you can go to www.patreon.com/The Positivity Experience, or you can just go to anywhere that you're getting this podcast. In the description, there's a clickable link and it'll take you right over there. But over there, we're talking about fear. And honestly, I try to make it the Patreon complement what we're talking about here. Sometimes, not always, but for the most part. And this is the part of you being you, authentic, and not people-pleasing. Now, if I could solve all of this in a 30-minute podcast, I would probably have 6 private jets. So we know that that's not going to be a thing. But I wanted to explain this to you. Okay, I'm gonna kind of drop it on you first, and then from there, I'm gonna kind of unbox it. Okay, so when you are people pleasing, quote unquote, because that's not real. I mean, you try, that's a real thing, but just not real. It's never gonna happen. So, and I don't say always and never much, but that is never. Okay, but when you're doing that, you are morphing and shape shifting into somebody that you're not. Okay, so you act this way. Like, imagine yourself. I'm sure you did this too, and I'm sure we've all done this. I know I've done it. Imagine you're a teenager, okay, and you're one way with your girlfriend. Like, you're like, oh my God, we are so cool. This is awesome. And then you get around all these new people, and let's say, because you're still trying to find your identity, you're insecure, all these things are happening. So the cool squad, quote unquote, cool squad that you deem as cool, embraces you somehow. So now when your friend who's not part of the cool group comes up to you and you act all extra, well, that's because you're morphing into something that you're not. Now, again, we're all guilty of this, right? And I think, when you start to understand that when you do that, people are falling in love with a version of you that isn't real. You literally have them falling in love with a character because it's not who you are. You're not being authentic. You're actually being fake without doing it intentionally. But you essentially are being fake, right? Because you're allowing yourself to change for this person. Act this way with this person. Act that way with this person. Of course, if you go into a professional setting, you're going to be a little bit more professional. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about really changing who you are. All of a sudden, you like the same band that somebody else likes because you want them to like you. Now you're stuck going to some concert. That would be like somebody asking me to go to a country music concert. Me personally, super not a no. Don't ever even bother asking me to go to a country concert. I never want to go. I appreciate it. I value what they do. It's just not my jam. But pretend I was trying to fit in, right? Because I'm not good with me. Because when you're trying to fit in all the time, it's when you're not good with you, right? You're seeking that person's approval. So now I've lied and said, oh my God, yes, I'm all about Luke Bryan, That's a thing, right? Luke Bryan, I think so. And so, I mean, I know the names, right? And so they're like, oh my God, guess what, girl? I got us tickets. Now I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, that's amazing. And inside I'm like, oh my God. Okay, I got to bring my AirPods. I can't like now I'm miserable. Now I have to go and I have to be jovial and I have to enjoy something that I absolutely have disdain for personally. And I have to smile and I have to be fake. Do you know how exhausting that is? So now the same group goes, oh my gosh, you know what? We're going to go down to Nashville and we're not going to see Luke Bryan, but there's this whole country thing. I got us tickets. Now, oh my God. Now, when am I going to stop this nightmare of a roller coaster? Right? So you have to understand that not only are you being fake, you're getting yourself in a miserable space. You're putting this is you doing it. Nobody's doing it. You are putting yourself in a situation that brings anxiety, or like you're like, oh, I'd rather walk naked down the street than go here. And now you have to put on this mask. It's exhausting. It's exhausting to live people pleasing. Okay. And so, you have to understand that, and we've talked about this, so I'm not going to go deep into the whole people pleasing. And we know that needing, avoiding that rejection or fearing that rejection and needing that, that validation, we know that comes from a childhood trauma, right? Maybe it was a parent that you felt was absent. Maybe it was something that you had going on. We know the reason. Don't let that reason become an excuse. Okay? Because think about this. If you're avoiding conflict, you're not being real with you. I'm not asking you to create conflict. I'm saying if you're avoiding having a conversation because of this, okay, avoiding conflict is a sign of a people pleaser. Okay? So that means, even if that means that you are changing exactly who you are, that's what I just said. So instead of me going, hey guys, like, I know I'm new to this group, or I know that you guys love me, but listen, like, I don't really want to go to this country concert. Country music's not my jam. Well, now they go, and then you sit home and go, damn it. Man, I have FOMO. Why do you have FOMO? You don't like country music. What do you mean you have FOMO? Of what? So you would rather be in a situation where you feel fake and uncomfortable just to say you have people. We got to stop doing that. Stop saying that you want to have these people in your life just because you have people. Now, we know that as human beings, we are mammals, we are human, we do require human interaction. We're not islands. I got it. However, you do not require human interaction that does not align with you. See, this is you holding on to people and things that are just not you, that don't align with you anymore. You're not being authentic because half the time you don't even know who you are. When you're trying to shapeshift it for everybody else, you don't really know you. Because when you know you, your boundaries are going to be strong. Okay, so what would that look like in real life? Well, I can tell you, right? Because I do have friends who love country music. They love it. They know I disdain it. I have a disdain for it. It's just not my vibe. And at no point would they ever look at me and go, hey, Lori, guess what? I got us tickets to a country concert. Unless they're being silly, right? They're not going to do that. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, me and blah, blah, blah are going to go to Luke Bryan or whatever, right? Cool. Have a great time. I mean, he's cute. You can send me pictures of him. He's good on the eyes. But so like, I appreciate that because they wouldn't even ask me. They wouldn't want me. Because see, you're putting yourself out there. You want people to like you, but then you get upset with them because they're not doing for you, but you're not doing for you. Stop expecting people to show up for you when you're not showing up for you. Stop expecting people to embrace you when you are not embracing yourself. You're not being authentic. If somebody knows you don't like something, they're not going to invite you, but they're going to respect you. And then it makes your relationship easier. Because imagine this. So let's go back to that other fictitious scenario. These new people or whatever, these people get me this ticket. I go there and now I'm so exhausted from faking it that you can just kind of tell, right? You see, your energy doesn't lie. You can smile, put on all these faces you want. Your energy will never lie. So now you're creating a very uncomfortable atmosphere without knowing it. And everybody's like, oh my God, like what the hell's wrong with this person? Well, they don't want to be here. If you don't want to be somewhere, if I invite you somewhere and you're like it'd be like Paul, okay? I love the Renaissance Fair. I'm a massive nerd. I like to dress up. I like people to say, my lady. Yes, I wish that would happen in real life. Hello, my lady. Hello. Like, yes. I tease Paul and go, you want to go? I said, oh, I bought tickets. Sorry, you can't go. He's like, oh man, bummed out. He would rather pluck his eyelashes out or rip them out with his fingernails than go to the Renaissance Fair. I would never ask him to go. I would never expect him to go. That's my thing. Okay. So when you're clear with yourself, you also understand that you're allowed to have your own thing. You don't have to do something with somebody all the time. And you might have different people that you do different things with. I'll go to the mall with this person. I'll have, an inside the house party with this person. I'll do that. Not everybody's going to be in that same way. And if people are solid within themselves and they're really your friend or your partner or your whatever, they're cool with that. They ain't got to love it, but they're cool with it. So as you shapeshift and you go into this, I want everybody to like me role, let me keep it real with you. You don't like everybody. You don't even vibe with everybody. So how hypocritical is that? You want everybody to have like this great opinion of you and this great, oh my God, I love this person. But in the same token, you're like, I don't really vibe with that person, but that's fine. Oh, why? Because now your ego says it's okay because you're doing it? You kind of see, I need you to pick up what I'm putting down here. Okay? Because when you are living inauthentic, it means that you are automatically adopting traditions that you don't even like. Just because you were raised in a family, this goes a lot into the religious trauma podcast that I did. You can go back and listen to it. But, just because you do something, say religiously, because that's how you always did, if that's not what you align with, and you're an adult, and sometimes as a kid, you can't always make that decision, but you're an adult, you don't have to do it. Let them get upset. Let them be disappointed. That's a them problem. But if you go, now you're being inauthentic and then you're mad at them somehow because you have misplaced anger. You don't want to be there. So now everything bugs you. So now you become a nightmare without even realizing it, or maybe you do realize it, because you try to make somebody like you. Do you even know you? Because if you know you and you like you, some of those people that you may want to like you may not, and that's okay. It's the number one thing I say when you first start working with me as a client. Number one. And I'll say it here, and even if you would become a client, you'd hear it again, okay, is this. When you are on your healing journey, when you start setting boundaries, when you start re-identifying who you are and living true to who you are, you will lose people. It's not really a loss, but in your mind, you will lose people. They will pull back from you. They will think you're extra. They will think you're going through something. They will judge you. They will try to hurt your feelings. They will try to push buttons to change you back to what makes them comfortable. Not might, not could, absolutely, 100%, without a doubt, will. And sometimes you'll do it without even knowing it. You'll just start distancing from people. You're not better than them, FYI. Let's not think that. You're not outgrowing somebody, even though that's what we say. Your energy is on a different trajectory. You have zero right to judge another human being for how they live their life. And I said that and I mean it. Zero right to judge them. You can look and say, this doesn't work for me. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. Great. By all means, protect your peace, baby. But no need to sit there and judge them. If it doesn't serve you, judge the situation. Not judge it. Analyze the situation. Analyze if that person or that situation is good for you. If it is, great. If you're willing to take a chance, great. If it doesn't, pull back. But no need to sit there in high superiority and start judging somebody. No. You're wasting your energy. Because now you're saying their authenticity, whether you like it or not, is not good. Well, fine. Their authenticity doesn't require you to be their friend or their family member. See, remember, you're related to these people. Stop saying you're family. Stop it. Family does not have to be blood, and blood does not have to be family. How many times, think of one person somewhere in your family. Doesn't even have to be your immediate family, your distant family, whatever, and you see them around the holiday or whatever, okay? And you think, or even if somebody you worked with, and you go, oh my gosh, if I wasn't related to this person, I wouldn't even hang out with this person. Okay, so why are you hanging out with this person? Well, I mean, it's my family. Well, okay, so they get a free pass? For what reason? So you still go, okay, I only have to see him every now and again. Yeah, we have to compromise in certain ways. But if every time you're around Uncle Billy and he just makes you feel uncomfortable somewhere, like his presence, stop subjecting yourself to that. And stop expecting people to subject it to you. Maybe they like you and they don't like your partner. Maybe they just, I'm not really vibing with your partner. Don't get mad at them. They don't have to vibe with your partner. Your friends don't have to like your partner. Stop making them like, oh, they're loyal to me. They don't gotta do anything. So this is where your ego must remain in check. A person can still have a relationship with you without having to accept your partner. And that's just a fact. You don't have to like it, but it's true. If your relationship with somebody is valuable, don't automatically can it because of who they're talking to or who they're friends with. Stop it. Because now you're not allowing them to be authentic. But be authentic to who you are. Don't fake it. Don't be like, okay, I'm going to put on this happy face. Like, why? Do you know how much misery and it will breed a very, very high level of resentment. Now you're going to start resenting everything. And you're going to be so exhausted. Now, let's go into people pleasing again, right? You are sacrificing. You're like, I go above and beyond for this person. Okay, skirt, slow down. You are choosing to go above and beyond for that person. That person does not ever have to go above and beyond for you. No, they do not. Stop doing things with an expectation that has to be done exactly as you would. See, when you people please, you start dropping every boundary. Well, you don't probably even know what it is, but like you start dropping every boundary and you start getting exhausted. You worked all week and you told your friend that you would go help them paint the entire weekend. Monday comes, you're exhausted as hell, right? Yeah, sure. Now, if you want to do it, but just don't expect that person to come paint for you. This goes back into kindness not being transactional. Right? If it doesn't work for you, if you're like, I feel like I'm doing like a lot of this effort here in this relationship. If that doesn't work for you, then distance from the relationship. Keep trying to fight it. It's like hoping for somebody to change. Oh, I'm going to stay with this person because they have potential. Like I'm going to fall in love with this potential. No. So when you're people pleasing and you're not being authentic, you are not being true to who you are. Now, will that sometimes be isolating? Yes, and it needs to be. That's okay. Because you could live alone, but you're not really being with yourself because you're fighting. You're fighting in fear. That's kind of what we were talking about before. Like, you're fighting it. Why are you doing that? So as you are being authentic, you want somebody to either like, dislike, or align or not align with who you are. Trust me, you would rather somebody who isn't going to be in alignment with you know that from the door. You're doing them a favor and you're doing yourself a favor. Why in the world would you want to morph into many different people for many different things for many different people? For people to like some version of you that isn't really you. So you get up every day, you put on your mask, you put on your happy face, you're this way because you're going to go hang out with this sister, you're this way because you're going to hang out with this coworker. That is draining. And it's fake. So it's always funny when people go, I don't like fake people. Are you authentic to yourself? Well, you're being fake. You're not intentionally being fake. It's coming from a place of insecurity. So there's no need to be judged on it. I'm letting you know so you can understand it. So you have to understand, you have to like yourself. See, you're so busy waiting for all these people to like you. Like me. Do you like you? It is so hypocritical to want people to like you when you don't like yourself. Okay, listen, don't go into victim mentality because I know why you don't like yourself because of something in your childhood, some trauma. We know why. I understand it. I validate it. But you can't live there. You cannot live there. It is up to you to start to know who you are. What traditions do you want to start? What are things that you're doing now that you actually do align with? Good. Enhance that. But the more you are trying to fit into all of these different storylines, narratives for all of these different people, the worse it is for you. I'll give you another example of that. Let's say you told your dad you got this promotion at work, because you did. Let's say you got this promotion at work and dad was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, I don't know. Like a month later, something happens, they sell the business, they're demoting you, they're not getting rid of you, they're kind of demoting you. Oh, well, they are demoting you, but not because of your service and your job. It's just that's what the new company is doing. But your dad was so proud of you because you got this promotion that now you've decided, I'm not going to tell him. I don't want to disappoint him. Why are we worried about him? Why in God's green earth are you worried about how dad feels about something that happened at your job? If he's not proud of you for just existing, then stop worrying about it. So now, because you're so afraid of people not liking you, judging you, and feeling some kind of way about you, now, not only are you not living true to yourself, now you're living some lie. Which the whole thing is a lie, right? Because if you're not living who you are, you're living as a lie anyway. But now you're afraid to tell this person this because they might get disappointed. Let them be disappointed. Who cares? Now ask yourself why that matters so much. You know, that's the same way that if somebody goes, oh my God, I don't like that about you. Okay. Do you like it about you? This is where the self-love comes into play. Self-awareness comes into play. You have to take a good, hard look at who you are or who you want to be. And then you have to put that into action. An idea and a wish without a plan, a dream without a plan is just a wish. So you can say, oh, I want to be more consistent. Then do it. What do you mean you want to be more consistent? Then do it. Execute it. Put it down on your calendar. Like I said, I have a podcast coming up in the next 1 or 2 weeks, going into the new year, of planning your entire year. Not a month, not a week. We will do that. That's part of planning the year. But we're going to start with the year. And then we're going to backtrack it into micro goals. Is it a lot of work? It is. Will it make your life easier? It will. If you choose to not do it, will it just magically do itself? It will not. It will not. So your consistency and knowing who you are is a massive, massive responsibility for yourself. No one else. It's no one else's responsibility. And you have to be clear in that. So first and foremost, ask yourself this question, okay? I really want you to ask yourself this question and really sit with it. Don't just think about the question and answer right away. I want you to sit with it. I want you to journal on this. This is a prompt that I want to give you. It's a little bit of homework, okay? Why is somebody else's comfort more important than your peace? Okay, so this is part one. Why is someone else's comfort more important than your peace? That's number one. And this is the secondary part of it. What do you believe about yourself? What good do you believe about yourself? So there's two things. What do you believe about yourself in general? There's going to be a lot of negative in there. And then what do you believe about yourself that is good? 3 things. Okay. Start there. And let's add a 4th because 4 is my favorite number. Because forever on a game show, you need to know this. 4 is my absolute favorite number since it has been since birth, I think. So here's the thing. The 4th one. What does it mean to you for somebody to like who you are authentically? Because you're not going to be able to answer that question until you know who you are. So don't be alarmed if you're like, oh my God, I don't know. That's fine. But it's up to you now to figure out who you are. What do you want to be? How do you want to be? Not how do you want everybody else to perceive you? Why is that so important? Because let me tell you, the way that somebody perceives you and the way that they judge you is based on them, not you. Always. It's where they are. If they're in their ego, they're going to judge you from ego. If they're in insecurity, they're going to judge you from insecurity. If they're in a superiority entitlement, they're going to judge you from that space. Yeah. And you're going to judge somebody else. So you need to check yourself. I do not judge people. I will look at a situation and say, ooh, this isn't my jam. And I let it go. But I'm not going to judge you for it. It's just where you are in your journey. Why? Who the hell am I to judge you? And who the hell are you to judge somebody else? You can't prevent people from judging you. They're going to talk anyway, baby. Let them talk. So I want you to ask yourself those prompts. Because it's hard for you to be authentic when you don't even know who that is. If your entire life, like I said, going back to people pleasing, and I have tons of podcasts on that on YouTube, so go out and watch that. But, that's why I didn't want to dive super deep into it. We know where it comes from. But you have to understand, you're still seeking like that acceptance. You're seeking oh my God, I don't want to be rejected. Okay, why does rejection bother you so much? Why? If you like you and somebody else rejects who you are, then you're just not for them. Accept that. Lower your ego. You are not going to be for everybody. I'm not going to be for everybody. That's okay. That's what makes the world go round, baby. So I want you to sit with that. I want you to understand that, just because you're going through something, that's not anybody else's responsibility, right? Just because you're trying to figure out who you are, they don't have to coddle you through that. And so I want you to be very clear in that, because I know you're exhausted, because my God, it was exhausting for me. Sometimes I would forget who I was supposed to be when I was around. I was like, wait, how am I supposed to be? Wait, what am I portraying? Not like some big fictitious lie about yourself, but like your personality or the things you like that situation. Like and by the way, if you haven't already gotten the memo, please don't invite me to any country music things. Hip hop, yes. Country music, no, but I appreciate it and I value you. If that's what you listen to, I'm here for you and I love you for it and I'll buy you tickets, but I'm not going. Okay. And so, but see, that right there lets me know I'm authentic. So if you were like, well, I don't understand why she doesn't like country music. Well, that's a you problem, because you don't have to know. It's not my jam. Just like you might not like hardcore hip hop. I do. It's okay. We can still all get along. See, when you learn that about yourself, you allow someone else to have their authenticity. And then every relationship that you start to have becomes a solid one. Not one that you have to always agree on everything on, or that you would always do. It makes the world go round. Then you don't have to try. You shouldn't have to sit there. You shouldn't have to try so hard. Don't get extra. Don't get so caught up in that, first impressions. No, stop that. Because listen, sometimes your first impression can be like, oh, that person's a nightmare, or oh, that person's so nice. And then you realize, oh, that person was acting. I'd rather be super authentic and then listen, your vibe's going to attract your tribe. Be super authentic. Some people are going to like it. Some people are not going to like it. It's all good in the hood. And I need you to feel the same way about them. Because I got to tell you, your opinion on somebody else is perfectly irrelevant to them, as it should be. You can protect your peace from it and have your own. You don't always have to voice it. Like on social media, you don't like something, scroll by, block it, keep it moving. No need to sit there and voice your opinion like a Karen. We're not there for that. You can distance from it. You can walk away. You can hang up. You can block. But allow yourself to be authentic. Protect your peace. You can't not protect your peace and be fictitious to everybody and then think, oh my God, but what if they saw the real me? They might not like it. Oh, because you don't like it. It's always going to come back to you. It's always going to come back to self-love. Always. Always. So all that energy that you're putting in on being somebody else for somebody else, I want you to stop. I want you to use all that energy to do exposure. Go back to things. Start healing your roots. Start analyzing who you are by what you believe in, and start analyzing it by who you're not. That's where the energy goes. You're way too busy about everybody else. So that's what I really want you to get authentic. And that's why I felt like this was so important, especially what's important every day. The holidays are here. Don't start showing up to things because you feel obligated to do it. Of course, if you said you're going to show up, but stop making obligatory obligations when you know you're not going to do it. Don't be that person. And I always say this, and I have a podcast on this too coming up, is, stop making commitments when you're sad. Stop making commitments when you're happy. Stop making commitments when you're drinking. Because all the time you're like, whoa, yeah, that sounds great. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, oh my God, did I just commit to having lunch with this person? Ugh. Now you got to figure out how you're going to get out of it. Stop making commitments. It's literally okay to be like, I'm not sure yet, but let me think about it. Or don't even bring it up in the first place. So that's your homework. But you got to stop putting on the mask just for everybody. Everybody's like, but I don't want to be alone. So you'd rather be fake. Okay? You'd rather be fake, not know who you are, feel empty, feel distant, feel lonely, just to say you have people? Oh no, that's an issue. Call me immediately. Hard pass. At no point do you hold on to somebody just to say you have people. I have friends, and then you have to be extra, and then you have to feel insecure, and then you have to do all these things. Now you're going to a country concert you don't feel like going to. Why? Stop doing that. You're not helping yourself. You're not being real. You have people liking a version of you that isn't even you. So they don't really like you. They like a Netflix show. They like a Netflix character. You're now a Netflix character. You're not really the actor. You're just the character. So I want you to be clear in that, babes. It is so powerful. I just was saying this to somebody. Somebody asked me what my favorite part of my job was, and I stand by this. Is watching someone go from where they feel broken, right? You're not, but you feel broken. You feel insecure. You feel people-pleasy. And watch the transition over a period of time of you stepping into your power, of you setting your boundaries. That is priceless for me. That is my most favorite thing on the planet about what I do. And that's a fact. So I want you to put yourself as that priority. You have to get to know who you are. And if people don't like it, oh, well, so what? So what? If you don't like somebody else, so what? From them, so what? Who cares if you don't like them? No one's going to lose sleep because you feel some kind of way about them. It's not happening. They're going to go off and live their best life as they should. So be authentic to who you are. You have to be. That's the only way that you can love yourself. And then who remains or who comes into your life after that, at some point or another, don't try to control it, will be long-term, will be solid. You don't have to try. You don't have to be fake. You don't have to, oh my God, here we go. Like, I'm not going to, people know I'm not going to entertain. And if I do, you're going to come over here. You know where the refrigerator is. You know where the silverware is. Do not expect me to cater to you. I am not, I'm not going to sit here and host something and be the hostess with the mostest. I'm going to sit my ass down. And if you want something to drink, there's the wine glasses. There's the wine. Pour it yourself and come sit down. That's just how it's going to be. Okay? And if you're like, oh my God, I wouldn't entertain that way. Well, then don't come. And I'm not you. That's just, you got to be clear with who you are. It's not going to vibe with everybody. So with that being said, that is your homework this week. Start to identify who you are by realizing who you're not. What do you not align with? What do you not agree with within yourself? Who are you really? What is it that you don't like about yourself? Why? Why? Is that whose voice in your head is telling you not to like it? That's somebody's voice. That's not yours. You've adopted it. You've allowed yourself to adopt somebody else's insecurity and unhealed trauma. But baby, let me tell you, that person looking back in you in the mirror, dig through all the BS. Dig through all the narrative in your head. And get to the amazing dynamic human being that you are. Because you are an amazing dynamic human being. Doesn't matter if I tell you that though. Because you got to believe it. And in order to believe it, you got to know who you are. And then when you know who you are, then you're solid.
Check it out.